my channel. My name's Angela and this is Deb and Thread Tales. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be talking about everything that I've made in August. It's been a bit of a funny month. I kind of felt like I'd sort of lost my sojo and then it came back and yeah, it was a bit of a funny month. I'm not quite sure what happened. It's just been a bit strange, I think. I don't think that lockdowns really affected me too much, but maybe it has more than I realised. I don't know. Anyway, I have made quite a few things and I've also got something that my daughter has made as well, so I'm really excited about showing you that. So I'll crack on and show you what I've made. So the first thing I've made is this t-shirt. Now, if you follow the Sew Essential vlog, then you'll have seen this before. This is a New Look 6217. Again, I'll put the names and descriptions below, but it's a really simple t-shirt. Now, I've done a couple of things wrong with this, so I'll talk you through what I've done. First of all, this is meant to be a woven t-shirt and it's meant to have a seam down the back with a keyhole. Now, I've done it and it's completely seam free because I've just literally taken out the seam allowance in the pattern piece and did it on the fold, put the back pattern piece on the fold, and sewed the front and the back together. So it literally is two pattern pieces. There's no sleeves because it's a grown on sleeve. It's a fantastic pattern. I've done it in woven before and it did fit me, but since I have made it, I've possibly put on a little bit of weight and I could see that it was pulling a little bit across the chest. So in Lucy's vlog on Sew Essential, she said that she sized down for the t-shirt pattern and that just worked better because obviously it's in jersey, so it needs a little bit of give, etc. So what I should have done is made it in the size that I'd already made, and then when I go to make a woven one, make it in a bigger size. So I drew out the bigger size and then made it in the bigger size, which was a bit random and a bit weird. I don't quite know why I did that. And although I really like it, and I don't think I'm going to change it, I quite like the fit of it around here. I think it fits really nicely, but just around the neckline it just feels a bit too gapey, a bit too big. But I mean, it's super comfy and I won't, like I say, I won't change it. But I've actually bought this fabric, which was again from Sew Essential, in a different colourway. I've bought it in a blue with a grey stripe, and I'll definitely size down and do that one in a different size. I think I just wasn't thinking quite straight, so I'm not quite sure what happened then. But on the whole, I'm really pleased with it. I think it's a super simple t-shirt. I've just literally folded over the edge and I did a, what did I do? I did a straight stitch on here. Because I knew that this wasn't going to have any pulling around here, and then I did a straight stitch actually around the bottom. I'll try and get a bit closer and show you. I don't know if that's going to show up at all, but it's actually so loose and baggy. I didn't feel like the stitches would pop, so I will let you know in time if that does happen. But so far so good. I don't think I've had any pulled stitches or anything because it's so loose and baggy, and I think that I'll do that again on my next version, so I'll let you know. Okay, so I'm going to show you now something that my daughter has made. She's just literally finished it in the last couple of days. Some of you, if you've been watching before, will have seen me share some knitting things that my daughter Amy has been making. But this is actually something that my youngest daughter Ellen has made. Now, she was a bit camera shy today. She didn't want to come on and share with you. But I think she will in the future. She just wasn't feeling it today. So she made this gorgeous skirt, and I'll pop some pictures and video of her in wearing it. But this is the Hollyburn skirt from the Sewaholic patterns, and it's a really simple sew. Now, I made this quite some time ago and I'll try and pop a link into the video where I've made it, but I've made it in a creamy fabric with bicycles and things all over it, and she keeps taking it out of my cupboard and trying it on, but it's way too big for her because she's got a much slimmer waist than I have. And when we went to a shop one day, they had this fabric in a couple of colourways, and I said to her, oh, that would make a really good skirt, that Hollyburn skirt that I've got. And she said, could I make it? And I went, yeah, definitely. so she did. And she did really, really well. I mean, obviously it's got pockets, really nice big pockets. It's got a seam down the front. It's also got a full seam down the back. I think the instructions say to do an ordinary zip, but I don't know why. I find putting in an invisible zip way easier, so I just showed her how to do an invisible zip, and that's what she did. And she hand stitched all of the hem down. Sorry, there's an aeroplane going over. Oh, I might have to come back. Sorry about that. It was very loud helicopter or aeroplane going over. So she hand stitched down all of the waistband, and then she hand stitched all of the hem. She's just sewn it really, really neatly. I obviously gave her guidance as she was going, but she did it all completely on her own. Probably the biggest bit of help was just setting it up for cutting out to try and get it as lined up as possible. You were never going to be able to match the B's on the front because the angle of the skirt goes out, so it wouldn't have matched. But I just said to her to try and get them so they're at least in roughly the same place as each other and in a line, and it just looks fab. She's really, really pleased with it. She quite likes this sort of style, and she said once she's been at school for a week or so, she might even wear it to school because she's joining sixth form, so she doesn't have to wear a uniform. So that's really great. Okay, so I'm going to get changed and show you the next thing that I made. So the next thing that I've made has been a journey. That's all I can say. And I really don't think I like this make, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. So this is the Sew Over It Siena dress, and it's just the top actually, it's not the dress. I want to make the dress. I'm going to make the dress. I've finished making the dress actually, don't know why I said that. And I wanted to make the top version just really to trial it, to see if it fitted, etc. And the first thing that happened was I had a little bit of debate over what size I was going to use, but in the end I decided to go for the size 12. That fitted my measurements the best, and my measurements are 36, 30, 37. So that's what I went with, and I'm pleased that I did. I think the fit on it is actually really, really good, but I'd never done shearing before, and oh my goodness, I just had a nightmare. And I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram, but I was putting up on my stories about my shearing adventure and trying to get people to help me, and I did get there in the end, obviously, because I have now got the shearing and it's fine. But on all of the useful guides and things, it was saying that you shouldn't add any tension to your bobbin, and that's what I was doing. I was trying to do everything exactly how I was meant to do it, but it didn't matter what I did, I wasn't getting any gathering on my piece of fabric at all. So I then tried it with actually pulling the tension on it, and that worked, so it was fine. So I made the Siena top. Now I made this as a mock-up just to see if it was going to fit, but I was really hoping and praying that it would be nice enough for me to wear and not just be, you know, a trial run. I had this fabric left over from a pencil skirt that I'd made a year or so ago, and I've lined it. I'll put some pictures up of it, but I lined it with a shirting fabric. I didn't put the adjustable straps in, which I should have done because, as you can see, look, they're too loose. And I just had some cheap buttons, and I just put these buttons on. Now, I really love this fabric, and I really wish that I love this top because I think the colour suits me. I think it's such a sweet little garment. I think the problem with it is, and it's a shame because I don't have any of this fabric left and I can't buy it again, but I think the problem with this is that it's too short and I haven't got a six-pack. So I just don't feel comfortable wearing it. I will stand up and I'll show you pictures. Oh, it's just really annoying because I should have put the adjustable straps in. But it's just too short, and I feel really self-conscious in it, and I just feel a little bit uncomfortable, and it just doesn't sit right or feel right. So I think if I made it in a top again, I would just extend it and that would be absolutely fine. But as the dress, I think that's going to work really, really well. I'm not going to show you the dress today because I'm going to show you that in a separate video, but that's coming soon. So that's my Siena experience. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad that I practice the shearing on a different garment, because actually I have made errors with this one. The shearing, I think, is slightly off centre, so whereas the pattern should be nice and straight and then just gather in together, I think it's almost adjusted slightly strangely. I also think that there are a couple of possible errors in the pattern where it says things should be a centimetre seam allowance or a centimetre and a half, and when I've put it together I don't feel like it was quite right. So actually that's been really good experience for going on to my dress. It might just be me and having an absolute nightmare trying to put this together, but anyway, so that's my Siena top. On to the next thing that I've made, and this is a garment that I made for my daughter. This is the Bathhouse top, and thank you so much to the ladies that helped me on Instagram and told me how you pronounce this because I was having a bit of a nightmare with that. This is the Bathhouse top, which has been out for a little while. It's backless top. I made it for my daughter, and I've made it in this Sewaholic Jane fabric that came through. Haven't been sure what to make in this, but I absolutely love this top and it suits my daughter beautifully. She's really pleased with it. She's worn it a few times and just says that she really, really loves it. I've actually got another dress cut out in this fabric to make for my other daughter, so I'll be showing you that hopefully in a different video when I've got that made up. But yeah, nothing really to say on this other than to say it sews together super, super fast. It's really has a very small amount of fabric that it takes up, has these gorgeous long ties on it. I know that some people have some fit issues with it, and the lovely Anna from Fuzzy Baby Seals, that's her name on Instagram. I can never remember her name on YouTube, but I'll put up her name on the screen. I know that she's been having a little bit of trouble with the fitting on the back, and I think a few people have. So I don't quite know how to get over that and how to sort that problem out. I know that when Ellen put it on, there was a small amount of gaping around here, but nothing too much. But I think it's almost unavoidable on a top that's shaped like this. But tell me what you think. I think it's really, really sweet. I've actually got some fabric that I want to make this up in for myself in a really cerise pink bordering on red fabric, which I think would be really, really nice. But yeah, I really like it. Don't know if it might be a bit short. No, I think it's longer than the Siena, so that's fine. Oh, Siena dress, Siena strap. That's so annoying. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this make, and she really loves it. So I will show you the next thing that I made. So this is my next make, and this is the Deer and Doe Givre dress. Now I've made this before. I've made it in a contrasting fabric and I've made it totally plain, and I absolutely love this dress. I've also made it as a t-shirt as well. I find that the fit is fantastic on me. I really love it. The shape suits me. I like where the shoulder, you know, meets my shoulder. Probably a very technical term for that, but I really like I like the shape of it. I think it's really flattering. Now I've made this in a fabric. I was really naughty and I did copy the beautiful Shona from Sewasfaction, because she had made a jersey dress in this exact same fabric. It wasn't the Deer and Doe Givre. She's made a Agnes Freya hack, and I just love the colours. I think it looked absolutely gorgeous. I knew they were the sort of colours that would suit me, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get some of that. And then when it came, I thought, Deer and Doe Givre. So this is what I've made. Now it's a very slightly ribbed fabric, if you can see that. Now when I've made this dress before, I've made it in a cotton jersey and it's been quite tight fitting, and I like that, and it's absolutely fine. That's what I quite like. And because this is in a rib, it's very slightly looser, because I guess it's just got more give in it. and I did take it in ever so slightly, probably about a centimetre each side of the seam allowance over and above what it already had. And I feel like I could probably take it in again, but I'm not going to, because actually it's really comfortable, and I think this is quite a nice autumn dress. I don't think I'd wear it in the winter because I don't think I'd want to wear this with tights particularly, but I will make sure that there's some video in of me wearing this. But yeah, there isn't really anything else to say on this. I just absolutely love it. I'll put the size that I made in below, and again with all my videos I put my body measurements in, so hopefully you can use it as a comparison as to where you are with pattern sizes. So this is another make from the Sew Over It Summer Dreaming ebook, and it's the Porto jumpsuit. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm being really negative, because I know that I've sort of said about a few things that I've made that I've not either liked, or I've talked about my mistakes and things, but I'm just trying to be really honest more than anything. But I don't like this. I say I don't like it. I do, but it really does feel like pyjamas, and I'm really gutted about it. I bought this fabric from a place called Trago Mills, which is a place in Devon, and it sells very cheap fabric, so I'm really glad that I made it in a cheaper fabric, so I don't feel like it's been wasted. I could possibly split this up, so I'll show you and talk you through it. So I've made this in a size 10. I actually sized down. I looked at the finished garment sizes and decided that it would be way too big and baggy if I made the size 12. And I like the details on it. It's got a really nice sort of detail on the pocket. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I'll put some pictures in, but it has like a pleated pocket. Not that you can particularly see them on this fabric. It's just a collared shirt, and it goes in really nicely. The instructions were really great. It's very loose fitting. It's got little turn-ups on the sleeves with a tab to keep that in place. It's got an elasticated waistband, and it has ties, which I feel like the ties that came in the pattern aren't quite long enough, so when you tie them up they look really short, and I think that looks a bit silly. But I could always take them out and make a longer one, so that's no big issue, or even take them out and not bother having them at all. I quite like the fact that it's got pockets. And because again it's in really lightweight fabric, it doesn't particularly add bulk to the trouser or the hip area, so that's absolutely fine. So I really took my time with this make. I made it and was so careful with every detail to make sure I'd got everything absolutely spot on, and I feel like it's a really great achievement because I'm so pleased with the finish on this and how it's come together, and my sewing skills sort of, I feel like they've really come on sort of through making this. It wasn't a difficult make, I feel like I just really took my time. But I just think it looks like pyjamas, and I'm really gutted because I really wanted this to work and I wanted it to look nice. I posted a picture of these on Instagram, and lots of people, well, it was quite 50-50 actually. It was a real 50-50 split between people saying no, they don't look like pyjamas at all, and people saying sorry, but I really think they look like pyjamas. And I think it's your take on them. I did take the pictures in my bedroom, which may have made a difference, not sure. Some people have suggested I wear it with a nice big belt, and I haven't tried that yet, but I do think that's a great idea. A pair of heels, that sort of thing. But on the whole, I feel like they're pyjamas. The thing is, they are so comfortable, which is like pyjamas, isn't it? But they are so comfortable, and I really want to love them and wear them. I have wondered about whether or not if I made them in a totally plain fabric, whether I would feel different about them. Not sure, but I'm sure you guys will let me know what you think, and I would love to hear. I don't think that this is something that I'm going to rush out and make again. I might possibly just make the top and just have it so it finishes in a straight, you know, blouse type of arrangement. I can't think of my words. I'm not sure I'd make the trousers again, particularly just on their own. I think there are nicer trousers out there, and that's just me being honest. I'm not trying to criticise the pattern. I just think that I've got nicer trouser patterns that are soft and comfortable than these. So let me know what you think. I'm sure I'll have done a video and shown you me twirling around to them, so I'd love to know what you think of them. Anyway, I'll get changed to show you my next item. So this is my final make, and this is my absolute favourite make. I really love this. Now, I didn't actually make this in August, but I wasn't allowed to show you in July because it was actually going to be, or it was part of a blog post that went up very beginning of August. So I had to unfortunately not share it with you in July, but I was so desperate to share it with you. There are so many things about this pattern that I absolutely love. So this is the True Bias Shelby pattern. I can't remember what size that I made off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the details below and in the description as well. So this is a romper suit. It is also a dress. It comes in a short version, it comes in a long version. So I've gone for the short romper version. So this was gifted, this fabric was gifted to me by Crafty So and So in exchange for a blog post, and I'm so pleased with the fabric. It's a viscose, and it's patterned with royal blue and quite a bright yellow, and then a muted orange, and then sort of a black background as well. Now, I was a little bit skeptical about going for a royal blue because I grew up and all of my school uniforms in junior school, primary school, secondary school was always royal blue, and I've avoided that colour like the plague ever since I've left school. But I know that the colour really suits me, and when I saw it on their website I thought, oh, I'm gonna just go for it and, you know, try and overcome my royal blue phobia. So I bought it, and when it came I was so pleased with it. I honestly can't tell, and I know I've done a blog post for them, so you'd expect me to want to say really big and positive things for it, but in all honesty, this is totally genuine. This fabric is absolutely gorgeous. It's so super soft. It's sewed together absolutely beautifully, and I'm so pleased with it. It is just really lovely. So the True Bias Shelby, I'd never made it before, but I'd seen several versions of it, and I was really inspired by lots of pictures that had been coming up on Instagram, the dress version and the romper. The only thing that really put me off was the tie back, and I was like, I'm not really sure about that, and would I really wear a romper? I'm not really sure. But all I can say is I didn't make any adjustments except for putting in pockets, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. I didn't make any adjustments for this, and I've made this as it came out of the packet, and I am so pleased with the sizing on it, and I really want to now explore lots of True Bias's patterns because I'm just so pleased with the fit. It's not too big, it's not too tight, it's just fabulous. I've seen a few people say, oh, I wish I put pockets in it, so I made a note on the pattern at the point at which it would need a pocket to be put in, and just add pockets if required, and I pinched a pattern piece out of another pattern and just put a pocket together and used those instructions to make sure it went in, and they went in really nicely. I'm really pleased with how they've gone in. You can't really tell because this fabric's really thin and loose and flowy. You can't really see the pockets. I don't think they don't add bulk to the hip area, so that's great. I do think that this would be really nice in a slightly heavier weight fabric for in the cooler months, and then I wouldn't put a pocket in because I think that could then add a bit of bulk. There's only one thing that I wish I had done, but it's a learning curve, and it doesn't stop me from wearing this because I absolutely love it, and that's that the ties on the back, I don't know if you can see that from where I am, but for me, I think they just need to come down about an inch to an inch and a half, and then that would just pull in a better place for me. I think the waist tie placement isn't quite right on my body shape, but that's just me personally, so I don't think that really makes any difference. But I just love it, and now I want to make lots of versions of it. and I will be. I saw Liz from The Baker That Sews. She's made the Shelby romper, and I think I think she's actually made it as a dress, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Doesn't matter who I've seen it on, they all look really, really lovely. So I am going to be making more of these. So that's it in terms of all my makes for August. I'm really pleased with what I've done. I'm on the cusp of wanting to now start to sew some things which are a bit more autumnal, but I'm kind of hanging on by the skin of my teeth for a little bit of extra sun, and maybe doing a couple of last minute summer sews, summer makes. I know I won't get much wear out of them, but for example, just loving this, I really want to make another one. But I've got the list the size of my arm of all the things that I want to make, which I know probably lots of people do. So I'm going to try and maybe have a look at my wardrobe and maybe change what I'm sewing for a little while. I have already got some things cut out, but I think really what I need to do is just put them on the back burner for a moment and get the more wintry, warmer clothes made up. So I'll let you know, and if anybody's got any pattern suggestions, then do let me know, because I love pattern suggestions and certainly finding new patterns that I've not made before. I am going to be sewing a few other things which are non-garment related in the next month or so. So if you're interested in seeing that, then do let me know, and I will make sure that's included in my September makes video. I also wanted to say a massive thank you to those of you that have donated to my Ko-fi account. That is really, really kind of you, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed actually, so thank you so much. Other than that, that's it from me. I hope everybody's well. Have a good week, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye. So it's been a bit of a funny month. Aeroplane going by, honestly. I really like chatting to you guys, and it's just really nice to pick up. Oh, there's a spider. Oh.